What's up, y'all? Welcome to Street Apologist Live. I'm your host, Vocab Malone. It's a Sunday night. The date is July 28th, 2019. Around 9:03 right now here on Phoenix, Arizona time. We're going to be discussing a One West doctrine that is not that well known and is super bizarre. One West is a certain sect of Hebrew Israelism, so not all Hebrew Israelites hold to what we're about to discuss. The doctrine under question is, are Chinese Moabites? Let's get this show started. All right. Like I said, welcome to Street Apologist Live. Tonight we're going to be discussing, why do One Westers call Chinese Moabites? Yes, it's obscure, but it drives a lot of how they view Asians, specifically Chinese. We were not going to be discussing Japanese tonight, but they call them Ammonites. So, I think one of the best ways to start this off is in a highly offensive manner, something that might get this video taken off, at least demonetized, whatever. It's to actually show the Hebrew Israelites in the Bay Area. Some of you have seen this video before, by the way. Spouting their doctrine. And so let's go right to the video, and I'm going to clip to a certain part, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be talking about. I might play this again tonight. So is everyone strapped in? Because you're in for a ride. So if you have young ones, if you're easily offended, if you're sensitive, you might want to shut this part down. There's no nudity, it's just language, it's racist. So I'm playing this, and so everyone understands that watches this. I do not affirm this. I don't think that what I'm about to play is good. I think it's utterly deplorable, absolutely horrendous, and 100% abominable, horrible, disgusting, gross, unbiblical, ungodly, unkind, mean behavior. So with that caveat, we're going to kick off this show, Street Apologist Live, by playing a clip that'll explain it. Alright, so I'm going to have to skip around this video in a second. Let me get it set up. Okay, I'm going to get this set up here.
So you guys know you're going into slavery, right?
I'm sorry?
You know you're going into...
So this is from GMS, a Bay Area camp. Now there used to be 5 parts to this video, but the other 3 parts got taken down, which is unfortunate because it's one of the best examples of their behavior. This particular camp. So I hope that I'm not in the way of the screen here. I might have to move my little thing of viewfinder if I am. But let's go ahead and play this, okay? You already got the caveat. You guys ready? You guys understand what you're about to watch. So this is leading into the topic of today's show. Is it biblically true that Chinese are Moabites? But even if it's not, which of course it's not, why do they say that they are? Here we go.
Go get bashed against the stones, man. And all you so-called Asians, you're going into slavery, all right?
That's right.
You're going into slavery.
So just stop right there. All you so-called Asians, you're going to slavery. Notice, it's not just so-called black. It's not just so-called white. Everything to them is so-called because they want to identify everything with the biblical nation. And again, this is not the majority position of Hebrew Israelites all over the world. This is specific to One West, okay? I'm being very purposeful in saying that. But One West does believe this. So they believe, not just white folks, but Asians are going to be in slavery as well. Here we go.
All right, where you belong. No more feet of soup. That was a
Yeah, I don't know if you hear what you're saying, but they're making fun of Asian cuisine and saying messed up stuff. So there's a lady walking by, and the cameraman purposely focuses on her. All right, I'm sorry, Nate. I apologize. I have to play this. I'm sorry, but I want to rewind that so everyone understands.
kids, man. Don't get bashed against the stones, man. And all you so-called Asians, you're going into slavery, all right?
That's right.
You're going into slavery, all right, where you belong. No more feeding soup.
That was incorporated.
You notice he said, you're going into slavery where you belong. All right? So, listen, he's going to break it down now, okay?
To those civil rights acts.
Yeah, and death to you gooks.
Yeah, that's right.
Death to gooks. Now, I hate Moabites. Right, man, these gooks.
So, he used a racial slur for Asians that I don't want to repeat. And then he said, I hate Moabites. So notice, the racial slur that he just used equals Moabites, which is a biblical people group. So they're equating the two. So watch.
These gooks and you damn East Indians, you piece of shit coolies. That's right.
So East Indians, those would be folks from India, of course. Notice that they think Native Americans are on the chart, but not Indians from India. Got to get that straight. And this guy is he's got all the racial slurs. He went to some dictionary or something.
They look down. They'll look down on. If I can get a scriptural, if you can get.
And you so-called Asians, you gooks, all right? You so-called Filipinos, coolies. Yeah, you damn waste of space, all right?
So Filipinos are a waste of space. That's what he just said.
Cause a damn gook, see, a gook ruling over you niggas, that should anger you, man.
Okay, now we're gonna get into it. He's saying if you have an Asian boss, you should be upset. Listen.
They're literally retarded, man.
Now, that's obviously a mean racial stereotype, but it actually plays into what they think is their biblical justification for this, all right? So understand what he just said. Again, this is not stuff I'd like to repeat, but I'm explaining their theology to you. Here we go.
And you so-called Asians, you gooks, all right? You so-called Filipinos, coolies. Yeah, you damn waste of space, all right? Cause a damn gook, see, a gook ruling over you niggas, that should anger you, man. They're literally retarded, man. You ever work with a Moabite? They're the worst workers.
Have you ever worked with a Moabite? Now this is, he says, have you ever worked with a Moabite? They're the worst workers. So he's speaking of Chinese right now. So listen what he says.
Ruling over you niggas, that should anger you, man. They're literally retarded, man. You ever work with a Moabite? They're the worst workers, man. They don't know how to do anything.
You're a Moabite, man.
They don't know how to do anything. This is so bizarre. What he's doing though, he's giving anecdotal justification for what he thinks is the true biblical classification for Chinese peoples. So you got to understand, this is not just random. These aren't just random insults. You know what I'm saying? He thinks these anecdotal racist observations, right, match the Bible. Oh, Jonathan Soko says, I bet you $20 that all of them order chicken wings and rice from the corner spot on a regular basis. Now, Soko, hold on to that thought, because, by the way, shout out to Jonathan Soko. He's the one who made the intro beat, so if you enjoyed it, you owe it to Jonathan Soko. Thank you, bro. Actually, what you're saying is, you're saying, hey, I bet they like Chinese food. Well, actually, they believe that's biblically prophesied. So hold on to your seats. Don't go anywhere. As we get into the show and the justification, what we're going to show is they actually believe I'm going to phrase it in a lame way. The African-American predisposition, according to them, to enjoy Asian cuisine is biblically prophesied. Okay? I'm not joking. Continue on. So notice they're not even being provoked. There's a guy walking on the street and they call him a slur, all right? Because they want to anger who they think are Moabites. Now, not all GMS camps behave this way, but this is a GMS camp, and they're notorious for this kind of thing. This Bay Area camp.
You ever work with a Moabite? They're the worst workers, man. They don't know how to do anything. You're a Moabite, man.
And the Most High cursed Moabites, all right? You curse, you're going into slavery, man. You can never enter into the congregation. That's right. Damn Moabite, man.
I hate Moabites. Yeah, 3 and 9.
To me, just like talking to the girl.
Okay, let me move my so you can see this guy better. So they pull him out and they say, "You're cursed from going to the congregation." And now notice kind of the strange glee that the camera, and sorry I keep on rewinding this, but I want to really explain what's going on. Kind of zooms in on the guy's face, you know what I'm saying? And what we got going on here is the guy says, "Talking to me is like talking to a bird." What he's saying is, I don't understand English that well, okay? Now watch where they go with that.
They don't know how to do anything. You're a Moabite, man.
And the Most High cursed Moabites, all right? You curse, you're going into slavery, man. You can never enter into the congregation. That's right. Damn Moabite, man.
I hate Moabites. Yeah, 3 and 9.
To me, just like talking to the girl.
Talking to you is like talking to a bird?
Because I don't quite understand English.
Okay, well, you should
Just go down the street.
I'm sorry, okay?
Yeah, go pick up a cat, man. There's a bunch of stray cats and dogs out here, man, if you want to build.
So he's saying, I don't understand English. He says, go pick up a cat. There's a bunch of stray cats out here. So just racist stereotypes, you know, nonstop. And of course, it's not okay, but if anyone gives a racist stereotype back to GMS, you know, they're like, "Oh, look how racist he is," you know. But this is what these guys stand out. And look, it's like funny. Look at this guy's face right here. The guy on the right of the main guy. It's just like the funniest thing to them. Look, this is a wicked cult. This Bay Area camp, and these are wicked men who enjoy wicked behavior. I don't know any other way around it, you know, because the man that they're making fun of, we don't know anything about that man. We don't know anything about his life. We know nothing about this man, you know. We do know one thing about him, though. He's an image bearer of God. He's made in the image of God. And because of that, he has infinite value and should be looked upon with respect and love. Right? This is the biblical understanding of our fellow humans. The Imago Dei is a beautiful, powerful doctrine. All right, here we go.
Gutter oil.
Gutter oil. Now, I don't even know some of these racial slurs exactly what they mean, but you know, I mean, again, every time I pause it, it's on this guy yucking it up. Like, this is the best thing ever.
Gutter oil.
1 Corinthians chapter 3,
Shut up,
verse 9.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, read that.
Why'd you have to call me?
So the guy was like super cool, you know, the guy who couldn't understand, and they're laughing at him, and when he tries to talk again, he's just like, "Shut up!" Like, it's just the worst. Here's the worst one. So the guy was just walking by, or they're talking, and they cut to him. He's upset. He's trying to reason with them, and this is just let you know, dealing with these guys on the street is not for everybody. If you don't have it in you, don't do it. Carm M asks, "Who's filming?" Hey, what's up, Little C? I haven't given a lot of shout outs yet to the live chat. I will, though. I'll get to you guys because you know I love you guys and you guys are awesome folks. Carm, you owe me. I'll let you talk to Michael Heiser. Not everyone got that privilege. You and Dave owe me a free plane ticket somewhere. I'm just kidding. It's unconditional love, right? But who's filming? It's a GMS member, and they edited it themselves. They're the ones who put the footage together. They're like into this. That's what's so shocking. Continuing on. This is the worst one. It gets bad. If your heart was hurting before, it's gonna hurt worse now. Are you ready?
Just go down the street.
I'm sorry, okay?
Yeah, go pick up a cat, man. There's a bunch of stray cats and dogs out here, man, if you want to build.
Gutter oil.
1 Corinthians chapter 3,
Shut up,
verse
man.
9.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, read that.
Why'd you have to call me a chink?
Get over it, bro.
No, I'm not gonna get over it. I would never call you guys any racial epithet. We're having a conversation.
You called us black, what, about 15 minutes ago? And ain't none of us up here black, so that's a racist remark.
That's
we didn't
racist.
Get fucking on your ass. Stop being an asshole.
You think calling someone black is the same as calling someone a chink?
Yes.
I'm not fucking black.
Idiot.
Hey,
Shut your yellow ass up.
Fucking idiot.
What's up?
Okay, yeah, like I said, there's some language in this, okay? But again, so notice, so they were having a conversation, the guy was walking by, they call him a racial slur, he's offended. He stopped, why do you have to do that? They're laughing, and they equate, when he must have said, black at some point, and they're equating that as a racist term is what they're saying. Notice, they'll be hyper-aggressive, and then they'll turn into victims real fast. This is the part of the trick of Hebrew Israelism. They'll be hyper-aggressive and racist, and all of a sudden, they're victims. You called us black, which is crazy, because, how is black a slur, the Bible even has a man in Acts 13 whose Latin name means black. Here we go, though. It's going to get worse, so pay attention to the left, that's my left side of the screen. Yeah, pay attention close to the left side of the screen. He's going to spit on him, okay? Spoiler alert, okay? So I'm not saying what he did is good, but then they chase him down. It's going to get worse, okay? This is the last clip I'm playing, though. Watch this, everybody.
Why'd you have to call me a chink?
Get over it, bro.
No, I'm not gonna get over it. I would never call you guys any racial epithet. We're having a conversation.
You called us black, what, about 15 minutes ago? And ain't none of us up here black, so that's a racist remark.
That's
we didn't
racist.
Get fucking on your ass. Stop being an asshole.
You think calling someone black is the same as calling someone a chink?
Yes.
I'm not fucking black.
Idiot.
Hey,
Shut your yellow ass up.
Fucking idiot.
Fucking even. What's up, man? What's up? You're fucking even.
It's over.
That's assault right there, bro. That's assault. That's assault right there, bro.
All you saw.
He literally just chased it on the street. I mean, do you want me to play that again? Oh, what can we do? I'm gonna leave that there for now. Okay, I'm not gonna replay that. I think you guys have seen enough. Now, what I want to do is get into their justification, because remember, they justify this behavior. They say that it is biblical. Believe it or not. Yes, they do. Believe it or not. So let's break it down. Okay, let's break this down. I'm going to reiterate some stuff. So why do the One West Hebrew Israelites call Chinese Moabites? Why do they do that? Well, just like they have a 12 tribes of Israel chart, One West Hebrew Israelites have an 18 nations chart. Sometimes they'll talk about it, they'll say it's the 18 heathen nations or something like that, 18 Gentile nations chart. But on this 18 nations chart, they have Moab, and they're listed as Chinese. So it's just like the 12 tribes chart, where you have Asher, and it says from Colombia to Uruguay. I always mispronounce that. That's Asher, supposedly, according to the 12 tribes of Israel chart. Well, here, you got Moabites are listed as Chinese, and that's one of the 18 nations, right? So One West Hebrew Israelites, to explain this to everyone, claim the ancient Moabites of the Bible, this is a real people group, are actually the modern Chinese. And they do the same thing. That's why they call modern Europeans or European descendants Edomites. So let's discuss this right now. And this is important because One Westers teach that if you're on the 18 nations chart, you have no hope for salvation. You can't be redeemed. You can't be in the kingdom as anything other than a slave. And they actually use the Bible to try to justify this idea. So, again, to reiterate, you must understand, One Westers believe that every people group in the modern age can and must be viewed through the lens of their true, ancient, and biblical designation. East Indians, they call Elamites, for example. They would give the justification as Genesis 10:22, 1 Chronicles 1:17. And they believe they have the key to looking at people, basically, or feeling them out in spirit and understanding their true nationality. And this lets them know, in essence, who to condemn and who to evangelize. So let's talk a little bit about why they call the Chinese the Moabites with that background. But before I do that, let me actually go into, I'm going to bring up, let's see, where's the internet? Let's bring up the internet here on the screen. What I want to show you guys is, hey, we got a couple super chats. Shout out to Roxby for the 15. Oh, and I missed a question by someone. Hey, right after I look up this chart, I am going to answer your question. I'm so sorry about that, because I know I missed somebody's. Okay. Let me look here. Let's see. What button do I need to hit? I need to hit this button. Okay, let me go back real quick to your question earlier. I'm so sorry. Carm says, as one of your moderators, I forbid you to stop dealing with these hateful people. You're not allowed to anymore. Nope, you're done. Well, wait, I think you made a typo there, because you said you forbid me to stop dealing with them. That means I have to keep on dealing with them, Carm. You know what I'm saying? She forbids me to stop. So Corin Chandler, shout out to you, bro. He asked a question. And thanks for the super chat, too. Looks like we're halfway to a freestyle. Someone break down how that works. Brother, do they even believe that other ethnicities are created in the image of God? And if so, how do they interpret that? Okay, so One West does not have a strong doctrine of the Imago Dei in the first place. They don't really explain or get into it. But some of the extreme One West who do, what I've seen them do, is they basically say Israelites are descendant of Adam, and other nations or other people groups are descendant of non-Adamic progenitors. Does that make sense? Like, for example, the group out here that had Austin Smith in it on the corner, they broke down their breakdown of Genesis one time, and the short version was that part of the sin of Eve was that she mixed with the other nations when she ate from the tree. And then when it says they hid among the trees, it actually means that Adam and Eve hid among the other nations, because they were all there, these other nations, and that's how they explain where Cain got his wife as well. And then they go to Bible passages where trees in some way are personified as people or something like that. And they actually consider Adam essentially what you would call a proto-Israelite. And so not all Hebrewites do this. Again, you got to understand, this is One West, and not all of them have this breakdown. It's an older breakdown that not all the camps know. But I can say they don't have a strong doctrine of the image of God. And so it's irrelevant anyway if we're related ethnically or not in their mind. Wait, did we unlock a freestyle? You saying we unlocked a freestyle? How did we do it? Who else gave? I thought we were halfway there. We unlocked one, Roxby? I mean, if you say it, I believe you. But I thought we got halfway there between you and Corinth. Who was the other person? Because that means I missed him. If somebody else, kicked in and I missed him, I apologize. Did I miss somebody? I thought we were just halfway there. Was it Tippy Bear? Who was it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know who it was. So apologize. Just let me know, Roxby. All right, so let's go over here now and look at this little deal up here on the IUIC website. All right, so here we are, IUIC website, ladies and gentlemen, and we're looking at it. And let's look at this, okay? I'm gonna just kind of breaking it down here, everybody. Okay, this is right here. Oh, I got you. Okay, Roxby, Roxby, you're awesome. Thank you, Roxby, for real. So here's IUIC's website. They're a One West camp. According to the Bible, Genesis chapter 10, Deuteronomy 32:8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. So that would seem to indicate that IUIC thinks that everybody is part of the sons of Adam. That's what that dude, if they're going to cite it that way. But they would just see that basically, the Most High practiced what they would consider a form of segregation. Ecclesiastes 4:16. This is the key. This is a key passage. Okay, if you wonder how do they justify the idea that every people group on the earth has to have an ancient biblical corollary or correspondent, this is their proof text. Ecclesiastes 4:16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. Do you understand the way their reasoning works? So this is to understand one Westism in regards to the people that they other. So this is called othering people. Now, I noticed, I mentioned how there's 18 nations. One of the nations is Israel. So, one of the nations here, of course, wouldn't be condemned under their understanding, but the other 17 are. So Elam or East Indians, notice they have a proof text for every single one. Notice that. See that? Assyrians are the so-called Kurds. They have a proof text for that. Syrians are the Syrians in Syria. I don't really... Syrians, so-called Syrians in Syria. Genesis 10:22. Notice it's similar for both of them. Ishmael, so-called Arabs, Genesis 16, 17, 18, 20, 1 Chronicles. Moab, so-called Chinese, Genesis. So it's right here. I'm not making up that these folks believe it. You guys, it's right there. You see it? Moab, so-called Chinese, Genesis. Now we're going to get into this, Genesis 19. Ammon, I mentioned that earlier, so-called Japanese, Genesis 19. I'm going to get into that. Edom, so-called white people. Now notice, it's interesting because these are all like people groups and locations with languages. White people's not a people group in a location with a language. It's interesting how that doesn't really match. It could say English, British, but, we'll go on. Genesis 25, so that's Esau, and Genesis chapter 30, Israel. There's their reasons for that. Sons of Ham, so these are folks that they view as black, but not chosen people. Cush are the so-called Ethiopians. Mizraim, so-called Egyptians, and the Watusis. I never realized they group Egyptians and Watusis together. Foot, so-called North Africans. That's a large group of people. Notice how imprecise and sloppy these groupings are. This is pure insanity that they even have this chart. I would like to know more about how they came up with it, because I know a little bit about the 12 tribes chart, rumors about how Ariyah or Bivens came up with it. I haven't heard as much with them detailing with how they come up with some of these. Now, I know some of the reasons they give, and that's what we're going to get into tonight, why they call it Chinese Moabites. Canaanites, so-called South Africans. I mean, they are saying that South Africans are Canaanites. How bizarre is this? Sons of Japheth. Now, most non-West Hebrew Israelites, and actually a lot of biblical scholars, have a loose, rough association with sort of white folks or Europeans with Japheth, okay? But a lot of it's speculation, okay? Gomer, so-called France. Magog, so-called Russia. Javan, so-called Greece. Ashkenaz, so-called Germany. Tarshish, so-called Spain. Kittim, so-called Italians. Now that one's weird because they have Kittim as Italy, and yet they say Romans are Edomites. Does anyone see the contradiction? If you don't, I'm not going to explain it right now. Just let me read this last part. The people of Japheth, when you read Genesis 10, 2-4, will be known today as the Hawaiians, Filipinos, Indonesians, Polynesians, and the Aborigines of Australia. Also, the natives of New Guinea, Tahiti, and Samoans. Now, that's important because a lot of these people that I just read that they group under Japheth, GOCC groups some of these people down here as elect peoples. They put them under Naphtali. And yet this one West Camp groups them under Japheth. What that means is GOCC thinks that some of these people, like the Polynesians and the Aborigines, can be chosen or elect people under the 12 tribes chart. GOCC is a fellow One West group, but Rakaz made some innovations. This IUIC chart's closer to the original, is my understanding. But see here, IUIC is throwing them into the non-elect sections of ethnicities. They are pushed out of their land and located in Europe around the 8th century BC by the Greeks and Romans. Today, Greece, Russia, Italy, Germany, Spain, and France are inhabited by so-called white people whose forefathers stole Japheth's land. To prove this, read. So you got to read all these, and it'll prove it. I mean, I know this verse off the top of my head. To prove this, read. And then they give examples. Does anyone know what John 10:10 says? This is how bizarre this religion is. This religion is utterly insane. When I read stuff like this, I cannot help but become miffed Malone, as they say. This is saying white people stole Samoan lands in Europe. that kind of thing. And they say, here's evidence, John 10:10. What's John 10:10 say? The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have come that you may have life and life abundantly. They are actually using John 10:10 as a proof text that white people stole Japhetic people's land. Do you guys understand this? John 10:10. What is it about? John 10:10 is about Jesus, who he is, over and against Satan, right? The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Who's the thief in John 10:10? It's the devil. Now that's why they say the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. See, that's how they get out of that. But Jesus is clearly talking about Satan. And he's saying, but I've come that you'll have life. It's a difference in their ministry, to put it. Right? They use John 10:10 as a proof text. This religion is paper. It is shallow. It's hollow. It's vacuous. And it's ridiculous. But because of the strong moral appeal, where it gives people who feel oppressed, right, a sense of identity, it's powerful. So, gotta look down. Where does John 10:10 say white people? Yeah, it doesn't. Yep, I know. But I'm just showing you this to show you that, you know, you get these Hebrew Israelites every now and then, be like, we don't believe that. Vocab's lying about what's right here. This is IUIC. This is the big camp. It's supposed to be the respectable camp, right? Oh boy, you guys are so silly. I pray Lord saves you out of this nonsense, and I really mean that. All right. So let me flip over. Where do I need to go here? All right, what am I looking at? Oh yeah, time to get into some of their reasons. Okay, I'm gonna be looking over here because I got to read some stuff. I guess I got some notes. So these designations, to say the least, are overly simplistic and not biblically justified. And you know, I mentioned already, not all Hebrew Israelites hold to this. So let me show you real quick how let me see, gathering of Christ.org/FAQ. It's funny, this is a FAQ item. Who is Moab, Ammon? Okay, so let's look at this real quick. I'm going to show you an example where GOCC deviates further. Okay, so this is Gathering in Christ Church. A lot of times they get a pass, but they are not a Christian church. They are a One West Hebrew Israelite cultic group led by a cult leader. Okay, and just look how bizarre some of their doctrine is. So here they are, Gathering of Christ Church, GOCC. This is a FAQ, really. Who is Moab and Ammon? Who is Moab and Ammon? Moab's Ammon birth and origin. Now, they read Genesis 19:30-38. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountains, and his 2 daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar. He dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. And his firstborn said unto the younger, Our father. Now notice, first of all, Hebrews love to talk about white people being in caves. Here you have Lot in cave. Lot in the cave. And remember, who's Lot related to? He's related to Abraham. You know? But yet, they've got Lot basically being the progenitor of key races or ethnic groups today that live in Asia. You know, Moab, Ammon, they say, are Chinese and Japanese. So his daughters, he's gonna have kids with them, unfortunately, and then that's where you're gonna get Moab and Ammon from. Okay, so look what they say. Wait, what is this? Oh, this is so weird. Look how they need to fix their website. I mean, notice how it changes in the middle of it. But let me just read this account then, since we're already on the screen, okay? So here's this account of what happens. Our father is old. So this is the older daughter says to the younger daughter. So now let's just do some Bible study, okay? Our father is old, and there is not a man on the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Now, first of all, honey, how is it you think nobody wants to get with you? Are you that old? Do you look that bad? I ain't trying to be funny, but what's up with the hyperbole? There's no one left in all the earth, unless somehow they assume that, like, Sodom and Gomorrah, which had just been destroyed, are literally like, you know, all that's left or something, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the deal, right? Roxby, are you saying you're leaving? Let me finish this and I'll drop a freestyle for you before you leave. Just give me like 10 minutes, Roxby, please. Hold up. But so she, like Abraham, is trying to take matters into her own hand, and this is not the way to do things. But people make mistakes, and this is a mistake. Come, let us make our father drink wine. So let's get dad drunk, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. So in some strange way, they're looking out for him and looking out for the family line in some weird way. Do you understand? Like, because remember, his wife had just been turned to salt. So notice how sin is judgment. Sin brings ramification to other people, and then sin spreads like a domino effect. So that's kind of what's going on here. So let's get him drunk and have sex with dad. This is a dysfunctional family plan. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. There's so many things I want to say about this, but I feel like they would all be inappropriate, so I will not. And it came to pass on that morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus they were both the daughters of Lot with the child by their father. Here's the key verse. Listen. And their firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger she also bore a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. So now we're going to continue on with a GOCC explanation. The Most High's utter destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah left the daughters of Lot believing that all the earth had been destroyed. In their ignorance they decided to bring forth children to the seed of their father, Moab and Ammon's land of inheritance. So now they list these verses. Deuteronomy 2:9. And the Lord said unto me, Distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give thee of their land for possession, because I have given Ar to the children of Lot for possession. God is saying, I've allotted where Moab is going to live. Don't bother them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't sound like Hebrew Israelite theology. Judges 11:13. And the king of the children of Ammon answered unto the messenger of Japhath, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt from Arnon even into Jacob and into Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. So hey, give me my land back you guys took. Deuteronomy 3:11. For only Og, king of Bashan, remained unto the remnant of the giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. It not in Rabath of the children of Ammon. 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth after the cubit of man. The heirs of Moab and Ammon are Ar, Jacob, and Jordan, and Rabath. The modern-day location of these regions is in and around the land of Jordan. The children of Moab and Ammon have never left their original habitation. The idea of them ending up in Far East Asia cannot be found in Scripture and is instead conjecture. So look, GOCC is directly going against the idea that Moab and Ammon are Chinese and Japanese. This is a fight between the camps. That's why they mention this. Why is GOCC even saying this? They're saying this because they know the other One West groups do hold to this. But to be fair, GOCC is the innovator here. IUIC is holding on to the innovation of Arya and Bivens. For whatever reason, GOCC is holding on to our innovation of Rakah. They've left the original school. See what I'm saying as far as this goes? They're saying it's laughable. But what's funny is they hold to this with other peoples that they've left some region and went all over. Like when it comes to Edom. So they do think white people are Edomites, and yet they think this idea is laughable. Why is that weird? Because guess what the 3 Transjordan kingdoms are in southern Israel by the Dead Sea and around Jordan? It's Moab, Edom, and Ammon. So GOCC, why don't you accept your own logic when it comes to Edom? This religion. Prophecies pertaining to Moab and Ammon. Ezekiel 36:5. Therefore saith the Lord, thy God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken out against the residents of the heathen, against all Idumea. So this is a different way to say Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession with all the joy of their heart, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. The residue of the heathen is the Moabites, Ammonites, and other Arab tribes who have appointed the land of Israel into their possession. So they're saying they would be along the lines of modern-day Arabs, but notice they have it with the Moabites and Ammonites, but not with the Edomites. This is actually partially true. Where do these people groups go? Because they're not distinctly a people group today. Where did they go? Some of them got subsumed into Israel under the Maccabean period. Others got destroyed and carted off under various kingdoms who came in that region. And a lot of them got subsumed into Arab peoples. This is the facts of history. Ezekiel 36:6, for thus saith the Lord God, because thou hast clapped thine hands and stamped with the feet and rejoiced in the heart with all despite against the land of Israel. Behold, therefore I will stretch out my hand upon thee and will deliver thee for a spoil to the heathen. And I will cut thee off from the people, and I will cause thee to perish out of the countries. I will destroy thee, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, because that Moab and Seir do say, behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathens. Therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from his cities which are on his frontiers, the glory of the country. To the men of the east of the Ammonites, and I will give them in possession. Ammonites may to be remembered among the nations. I will execute judgments upon Moab, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Moab and Ammon were once in confederacy with Edom. Now Edom is a turned heel, is pouring out destruction upon the Palestinians profusely. They are actually, GOCC is using this to explain current events. They're saying that the Arabs, because remember they identify Moab and Ammon differently, used to be lined up with white people, but now white people are against the Palestinian Arabs. That's what they're saying. This religion is crazy talk, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, we got to finish this, and then we're going to go into the other stuff to break it down. All right. It's conjecture. This whole thing is conjecture. Zephaniah 2, 8-10. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revilings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah. Even the breeding of nettles and salt pits and perpetual desolation, the residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against people of the Lord of hosts. Commentary by GOCC. Moab and Ammon's judgment is being likened to that of Sodom and Gomorrah. When we see atrocities such as WP, white phosphorus, and rocket attacks, understand that this is biblical prophetic judgment being enacted upon Moab and Ammon, otherwise known as Palestinians. These people are serious. Why do people believe and teach that Moab and Ammon are Chinese and Japanese? Good question. The scripture in Zephaniah proves that Moab and Ammon have been made advanced upon the land of Israel, as it states they have magnified themselves against Israel's border. See, this is where the one Westers fight with each other. Ezekiel 25, 1-7. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against the Ammonites, and prophesy against them, and say unto the Ammonites, Hear the word of the Lord God. Thus saith the Lord God, because thou saidst, Aha, against my sanctuary when it was profane, and against the land of Israel when it was desolate, and against the house of Judah when they went into captivity. Behold, therefore I will deliver thee to the men of the east for possession, and they shall set their palaces in thee, and make their dwellings in thee. They shall eat thy fruit, and they shall drink thy milk. And I will make Rabbah a stable for camels, and Ammonites a couching place for flocks, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. This is often misinterpreted as Moab and Ammon being taken by Nebuchadnezzar from the original land and carried to China and Japan. So, who often misinterprets this that way? Not no Bible commentators, I'll tell you that. Who misinterprets this? It's their fellow one Westers. Notice they're throwing shade without wanting to name names, but I'll name names. No one misinterprets this as this way. No Bible commentator says, no one does that. If we simply read the scripture for what it's stating, oh, that's a unique idea, one West. It's simply saying that the men of the east, the Babylonians, would set up a campaign against the land of Ammon and set up the colonies in their habitation. Nowhere does it state that they were carried from the land to another location. And so, now, look, they have a video on it, another video on it, another video on it, all right? So that's GOCC's take, so you get a sense of what's going on there. Now, I'm going to return, now that I've shown you how not all one Westers are identical in that, I'm going to get into the main point of the article here, okay? After I do a freestyle for you, Roxby, okay? Let me just give one other example that not all one Westers hold to this. There's a Facebook channel called the Hebrew Tribes channel, and they got a post on there saying this. I've seen post after post and comment after comment and charts where folks have the Moabites and Ammonites listed as Chinese and Japanese. This is how I know brothers who made those charts are not studying who and where these nations are according to Scripture. And others are sharing this information as if it is fact. So you catch that? So that is from facebook.com/Hebrew Tribes, post dated March 26, 2018. All right? So we're going to look again at Genesis 19, 36 through 37. And break down their actual reasons for this. And an example, if you want to watch a video on this, you could. Here's one that has almost 160,000 views. It's called HOY. HOY was the group that was messing around with the Covington kids. It's called A Moabite Girl's Disrespect Gets Rebuked. Again, it says 160,000 views. HOI, A Moabite Girl's Disrespect Gets Rebuked. All right, so with all that being said, we do need to freestyle, Roxby, because you gave to the super chat, and now you're saying you have to leave. I hope that you can do this before you leave. I'm really sorry, but we have a freestyle. And Nate, how many freestyles do I owe with the current one I'm about to do? Will you please let me know, my friend? And then we're going to do this freestyle in the middle of the show because people earned a freestyle. And then we'll return to the show. I'm kind of feeling that one. Roxp, I hope you're feeling that one. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, Roxb, I know you're about to fall asleep. I'm going to try to dedicate this freestyle to Roxb not falling asleep. All right? Again, this is a commercial break in the middle of the show. We're going to return to the actual reasons. The meat of the show is coming up in a second because we haven't actually touched on it. All right, you ready? Thank you, John Soko, for the beat. My man, for the beat. Thanks, Soko, for the beat. Roxb, don't go to sleep. I know that you want to hit the C's. Yes, go, but stay awake and hear these. Freestyle. Go ahead, take a nap for a while. When you're done, but listen, I know it's some day. There's one way to stay awake. Hey, listen, I'm reviving. Go ahead, take some Vibrant. Yes, y'all, you know what I mean. Hey, yo, Roxb, get yourself caffeine. Maybe some coffee. Go ahead and rock the mic with the Roxb. Yes, y'all, what else would work? Maybe some Adderall before you go to work. Let me turn up the mic a little bit. You gotta stay awake. You cannot quit. This is the situation where you're driving on a freeway. Listen to what I display like a DJ cutting up the wax. Don't take a nap. Don't fall asleep upon your back. Yes, y'all, spit a metaphor. Roxb, please don't snore. Yes, y'all, the weekend warrior time is ending for your score. We got a freestyle tonight. Hey, yo, Roxb, stay awake, alright? Yes, y'all, 1, 2, 3. Hey, yo, Roxb, don't catch no Z's, don't get no dreams. Stay awake, and then when you do, make sure you thank God. Say your prayer. Hey, yo, Roxb, are you still there? I hope so. You gotta keep it real. Hey, yo, Roxb, take a pill, take a caffeine pill, and glue your eyes open. I'm not joking. I'm hoping you can make it to the end. Hey, yo, Roxb, count to 10, count the sheep, my friend, when the show is over. Yes, y'all, and pray to Jehovah. Check this out, upon the scene, and when it's done, then you can dream. Roxb, comb your hair. When you wake up, hope you don't have a nightmare. That'd be gross, cause you be all sweat. Hey, yo, check it out. Don't forget to brush your teeth before you hit the hay. Yes, y'all, what else I gotta say? This is the truth, and I'm the boss. Hey, yo, Roxb, don't forget to floss. Sorry, I know that in the beginning the vocals were a little quiet, but I see you guys. I saw you. So it's dedicated to Roxb, and that's okay. Since you gave for the freestyle, it's only right you stick around. At least we get one to you, you know? So continuing on with the big chunk of the show, let's get into why the One Westers believe that Moabites are actually Chinese. To do that, let's jump into Logos here. Logos, where is Logos? What's it doing here? Being all strange. No, that's not what I want to. Stop it. Just stop it. Where's Logos? I had it all set up and it just decided to. Logos is dope, by the way. And I encourage y'all to get it. And if you notice, listeners to the show, can get a discount on Logos. The discount is listed right there. It looks like we had at least one person get the base package and use that discount. And listeners to the show, the discount, they use that link and that code. And also, guess what else? You get free 5 books. Pretty cool, right? So you also get free 5 books when you do that. They'll hook you up like that. So I think it's a pretty dope thing that Logos is doing for the show. I think it's great. Okay, so here we are in Genesis 19, 36 through 37. So we already read it, but let me explain basically what the One Westers are saying. Some of you have probably already picked it up, as bad as it is. They are basically saying because Moabites and Ammonites, are what they would say a product of incest, that they are physically handicapped. Mentally and physically handicapped. Hold on, did the show just shut down? Oh, no, it didn't. Man, it's creating so many weird problems. Thank you, by the way, D-New, for letting people know the code and stuff. Okay, so that's what they are saying. And remember in the video that I played in the beginning of the show, that's what he was going after. He was saying the justification is that. Now, what they do, One West, what they do is they blur different usages of the semantic range of the word mongoloid. Because what they say is, this is their words, okay? They say Israelites are negroid, Edomites are caucasoid. These are old classifications based upon Darwinian racism, really. And they'll say the Chinese are mongoloid in multiple senses of the word, because that's an older classification because of the Mongols to say Chinese are mongoloid. Again, these are kind of out of date things, but this is what they utilize. Then what they'll say is they're mongoloid in the sense of they have Down syndrome. It's a form of Down syndrome. Again, I kid you not with what I'm saying. I hate talking about this, but they're saying because the Chinese, this is not true, by the way. I want to reiterate that. They're saying the Chinese are the offspring of incest, and this incestual foundation explains their physical features, as in, don't Chinese look like Down syndrome babies? Now, really, there's a genetic reason for that. So the actual genetic code of people who have Down syndrome, there's a certain reason why. It has to do with their chromosomes, right? And so this whole thing is nonsense. I mean, I think everyone can see that. But you got to understand that's where they are with it, okay? Okay, and if you want more examples of this, for example, you can, let me show you. Let me show you real quick here. Let me show you 2 examples in a video, okay? Yeah, Don, you know what I'm talking about. I know I've talked about this, right? Wait a minute, what is it doing? Why doesn't it let me switch here? Ecamm is being a little irritating for me right now, I must say. Okay, Ecamm, it's a program. It's being super irritating. Okay, well, whatever. I'm just going to take matters into my own hands. Let me show you an example of what I mean, okay? See what I'm typing in here? The Chinese are the biblical Moabites. Oh, here's another website, Hebrewism 101, that disagrees with it. I haven't seen that one. Oh, it looks like that's the same. Actually, I mentioned this already before. Where's the... Why can't I find it? It's GMS Atlanta. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to play the video. I'm just showing you example here. So, again, so they talk about it here. This is a GMS Atlanta camp, and they're, talking about what. See, so this has 7,000 views. This video, it's 14 minutes long. GMS Atlanta, they got 5,700 subs, and it was published August 13, 2013. So that's there. You can see that. So there's one example. Now let me show you another one here. I mentioned this one, so let me actually show you real quick. Moabite girls. Oh, I had to put disrespect in there. Moabite girls disrespect. A Moabite girls disrespect rebuked, right? Yeah. So where is the dumb thing? Oh, it's because it's H-O-I. Okay. All right. So notice this one's got two. You know what I'm saying? This has got so here's the GOCC where they give their version of it. But here's two different places. 27-minute one and a 14-minute one. September 2016 and October 2015. One at Ronald Vessels and one at Awaken Israel. All right. And notice how they put an Asian gal there, who I believe is a Christian. They put her there in the thumbnail. Now look how many views this thing has. 159,943. Almost 2,000 likes. I'll notice I've disliked it. This channel also has 47,000 subs. All right. And here they are asking for their donations. So almost 1,000 comments on this video. But that's Zabak, the leader of HOI. The little dude looks like Usher. Where's the gal at? I'll show you her real quick. Oh, there she is. There she is. We're not going to watch this. I was just giving you an idea of this. Yeah. So the Moabite girls disrespect gets rebuked is what they're saying there. Now, I've given you one reason why they say this. It's because they say there's a supposed situation of incest with these groups, and so this equals them being mentally and physically inferior because of the genetic foundation, because of Lot. So do you guys understand their, I hate to call it rationale, but do you understand where they come from with this as far as the one Westers? Okay, so I want you guys to understand this. Man, I need 2 monitors. I can't do this anymore. I need 2 monitors to run this show. I'm getting real frustrated. I need 2 monitors. I do not have 2 monitors, and it's creating difficulties. Everything is very difficult. Okay, so let me show you. There's a comment. Oh, I didn't get into it. That's on one of those videos, and here's what it says. This is actually a comment on the GMS Atlanta one. Well, now if I don't want to go find it, but I've got it written down here. It says this: they are Moab, meaning from my father. So what they're saying is Moab means from my father, and therefore they're like Lot, which means they're from their father, which means they're from an incestual relationship. Moab, meaning from my father. They are the fruit of incest between Lot and her daughter. This is a quote on the video by a one Wester, the Atlanta video, GMS. Hence the fact they have mongoloid Down syndrome on their faces, yellow skin, and are shorty, etc. This is a real quote I'm reading you, as diagnosed by Dr. John Langdon Down. So they actually think this is apologetics for their rationale. So this sentiment is basically Chinese people look deformed because they're a product of incest between Lot and his daughters, and they base it upon Genesis 19:30 through 38. Now, are there other places in the Bible where they go? So you've seen one, and they back it up with these kinds of things. Now, again, I hate talking about this because it's so offensive, but I'm trying to explain it. So let's turn to Psalm 60. Okay, here's another reason. Why do one West Hebrew Israelites call Chinese Moabites? And is there any good evidence for it? Well, no, there's not. I hope you can see this. He will tread down our foes to the choir master, according to Shushan Edoth, the comictum of David, for instruction when he strove with Aram the Ram, with Aram the Zobah, when Job, on his return, struck down 12,000 of Edom in the valley of Salt. Let's read this. O God, you have rejected us, broken our defenses. You've been angry. Oh, restore us. You've made the land to quake. You've torn it open. Repair its breaches, for it totters. You've made your people see hard things. You've given us wine to drink that made us stagger. You've set up a banner for those who fear you, that they may flee to it from the bow. Selah. So that's pause. Think about it. So what he's saying so far is, you've judged us, God, but yet you also will protect those who are truly yours. Think about that. Continuing on, because I'm going to get to the proof text here. That your beloved ones may be delivered. Give salvation by your right hand and answer us. God has spoken in his holiness. With exultation I will divide up Shechem and portion out the vow, Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim is my helmet, Judah is my scepter. Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. So what's going on here? So first he's saying, hey, we've got judged. So notice that it's sort of fair for God to judge all. So he judges Israel, and now David is talking about how God is judging other nations, such as Moab. I want to see real quick what Moab does mean, since that guy mentioned it. Let's look it up. Moab, from a prolonged form of the prepositional prefix, and from her, the mother's father. Occurrences, 166 times, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's look at a deeper lexicon here. Let's look at a deeper one here. I just want to see a little bit about the etymology of this. Why isn't it opening? I have this resource. It should be opening. Okay. Again, notice this. This nation settled east of the Dead Sea. So, one West Hebrew Israelites, they actually expect us to believe that Israel, ancient Israel, is black. Most of the nations surrounding them are black or dark brown. Usually they just say black. And yet, down there in the Transjordan area, you've got a nation filled with Chinese, Japanese, and white people. Because the Edomites, the Ammonites, and the Moabites all were in the Transjordan area. So their god was Chemosh. Now this is interesting. Look at this. Although Deuteronomic code prohibited a Moabite from entering the congregation of the Lord even to the 10th generation. So there was a judgment against the people of Moab. Notice though what it says. Ruth, a Moabitess, believed in the Lord, became the wife of Boaz, thus forbear King David. So you see mercy upon the people as well. David conquered the Moabites. They rebelled after Ahab's death, finally gaining independence. By the way, there's something called the Moabite stone, which is very interesting. This is sort of biblical apologetics via archaeology. It gives Moab's side of the campaign. It says that Moab served Israel all the days of Omri and half the days of his son, 40 years. Omri was a wicked king, but ironically, he's attested to in a few places in archaeology. It's weird. It seems like some of the wicked kings had a more powerful Israel according to the neighbors in some ways. They had some victory under Omri. I mean, here's an example of vassalage. This has recently been interpreted to mean half the days of his grandson, i.e. Joram is given in 2 Kings 3. The servitude would include the reign of Omri, 12 years, Ahab 22 years, Ahaz 2 years, Joram 6 years. Overlapping years would make the total 40. So the point by this is there's something called the Moabite stone that actually aligns up with the biblical timeline given in 2 Kings 3 in relationship to the kingdom of Moab, which is fascinating, isn't it? Now, this is I want to get this book. I don't have this book. I have another one that's similar to it, but here's one called Peoples of OT Times and Moab. Wait, maybe I do have this book. I think I do have that book on Oxford, actually, because I've read the entry. It's really good. This one I know I don't have, though, and I'd love to get that, the one on Brill, but Brill books are really expensive. Anyways, just looking a little bit about Moab. In a second, we might look at the situation with them in their actual land, so I could show you that. So going back to Psalm 68, what does that mean that Moab is my wash basin? The King James Version interprets it as wash pot. Well, remember, this is a context of judgment. First for Israel, then other nations. Basically, it's a context of judgment for those who rebel against God. That's a short version of what it is. Moab is included here as a heathen nation because that's what they were at that time. Okay? And yet, ironically, do not forget, who is Ruth? She's in the line of David. And so there's a Moabitess in his own ancestral line. So it's not every Moabite. Wash basin, what is it? It's a basin, like a bowl. This is just, I've looked into this, so I know what it is. It's a bowl that you would wash your soiled or dirty flesh off with the water, and it would collect the residue of it, okay? So like a washcloth, like they didn't have a sink with running water, right? So you take whatever and you clean your hands with this. So it'd be filled with like dirty water, or with your feet. And you could maybe even picture especially a king situation where the king, this is Yahweh talking, by the way. He's saying Moab is my wash basin. So you could have a situation where the king is sitting and his feet are getting washed, and that wash basin, the dirtiness from his feet is collected in there. So it's sort of under him. So, you know, it's something that's, I don't know what you want to say, subservient to him in a way, you know what I'm saying, in a picture. But it's clearly a sign of judgment, okay? Do you guys understand that? Believe it or not. Now, again, remember, they use the KJV, which says, Moab is my wash pot. But I'm going to show you one other place in Psalm 108:9 where you get the same language. And I'm going to interpret that, and then I'm going to show you how they interpret it, okay? Which I've hinted to already with my conversation with Jonathan Soko. Psalm 108. Again, what question are we talking about here? Let me reiterate, everybody, if you're just joining us. Why do One West Hebrew Israelites call Chinese Moabites? One, because they're saying they are basically retarded, like they have Down syndrome. I'm using their words. These are not words I would normally use because of the incestuous relationship between Lot and his daughters, and they're saying they're the offspring of them. That's the one reason. Another is these lines where they say Moab is my washpot. Now I'm going to show you how they interpret it. But first I want to read them in context. We always do that. With God we shall do valiantly, a psalm of David. My heart is steadfast, O God. I will sing and make melody with all my being. Awake, O harp and lyre. Awake with the dawn. I will give thanks to you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing praise to you among the nations. For your steadfast love is great above the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth, that your beloved ones may be delivered. Give salvation by your right hand. Answer me. God has promised in his holiness. With exaltation I will divide up Shechem, and portion out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine. Manasseh is mine. Ephraim is my helmet. Judah is my scepter. Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. Do you notice how similar that part of the psalm is? That's like, you know, when MC's got lyrics, and they might have a lyric from one song that they incorporate into their new song. You know what I mean? They got these bars, and it's a brand new verse, but there's a part where they do like a little throwback verse and drop it in there. David is kind of doing that. He's got these new bars talking about praising God, and then boom, what's he do? He jumps into some stuff he's done before. And from Psalm 68, I'm not sure which one is first here, but I'm just giving an example because it's essentially the same thing. A sign of judgment there. Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. Similar thing for each way. Notice it's different than these. But it's again saying God is in charge of the nation. That's the point. Well, how do One Westers interpret this? To put simple terms, One Westers say that black Americans have a love for Chinese food, and they believe that this love for Chinese food is affirmed and predicted in the book of Psalms. I kid you not. So Nathan, if you're wondering how do they get this stuff from, here's one of the ways they get it from. They say that Moab is my washpot is actually a way to say that they'll love Chinese food because they associate the washpot with Asian food in some way. And there are anecdotal stories by ex-One Westers who talk about when they would be going out in the 80s and the 90s with some of their leaders to Chinese restaurants in New York. And whenever they would be at these restaurants, a couple of leaders in particular, whenever they were eating Chinese food, would always say, Moab is my washpot. They would say, Moab is my washpot, while they were eating the Chinese food, as if there was some kind of connection. So it's a very crude interpretation, no doubt. But remember this, Moab is one of the most fleshed out ethnic groups on the One West Table of Nations chart. What I mean by that is, if we start talking about why they call East Indians Elamites, or why they call Kittim Romans and all this stuff, the rationale is not as in depth. They actually have more verses from Moab than they do the others, which is crazy. Second, really, to Edom. For what I've seen, besides Edom, their supposed, white folks thing with Edom, it's mainly Moab that they've got the most information for. And even though it's crude, you got to understand, these groups have a low tolerance for dissent. What happens is core teachings are found persuasive by people in the group, okay? These kind of core teachings, such as, we're the Israelites. Then these other lesser important truths are not as important, and they don't really contend with them, because if you question, rank and file questions them, boom, they could be gone. So there's a certain epistemology that's encouraged, that's nurtured, and it's basically, you know, this doctrine comes from us, from the leaders. It's been handed down, so you accept it. So even if it's not sort of as well grounded as the others supposedly, they still proclaim it confidently as accurate, because basically, well, it comes from the prophets of the Lord. And so this Chinese being the Moabites doctrine has really been passed down with very little opposition from amongst one Westers. However, you notice once GOCC, once Rakar is no longer in the old school and he's on his own school, what's one of the first things he does? He disassociates this, because he realizes how bad it is. I mean, if Rakar recognizes how bad it is, that's saying something. But guess what? They've got another one. So let's look at the other one. Let's look at another one, okay? Deuteronomy 23. This is really weird, everyone, but pay attention. No one whose testicles are crushed or whose male organ is cut off shall enter the assembly of the Lord. This is saying you have to be sort of without spot or blemish, okay? This is part of what God wanted to show about holiness before God. This is no longer the case, because who's the first Gentile convert in the book of Acts? It's a eunuch. The eunuch would have been excluded from the assembly of the Lord under this. Doesn't mean he couldn't be a believer. It just means he couldn't go into certain places or portions or spots, because it's possible when some of the young Hebrew boys were carted off by the Babylonians, they may have even been made into eunuchs. So it's not under the Babylonians, for example. We don't know for sure, but it's possible. So like, it's not that you can't be a believer in Yahweh, but it's certain ritualistic things you can't be involved with. No one born of a forbidden union may enter the assembly of the Lord. So, you know, if it's like it wasn't a marriage and it was like out of wedlock, you couldn't do it. Even to the 10th generation, none of his descendants may enter the assembly of the Lord. So praise God, we don't live under this covenant. This is why the new covenant is better than the old covenant. But if I was around then, I wouldn't complain about it. It wouldn't be that. I'm just saying the Bible says itself. It says the new covenant is superior. So I'm not dissing this. I'm just saying this shows the high standard for God's holiness, and he was reiterating it in every way, such as physical wholeness. And it's just like, whoa, God expects a lot. In fact, Yahweh demands perfection. But again, let me come back to their rationale here. No Ammonite or Moabite may enter into the assembly of the Lord, even to the 10th generation. None of them may enter the assembly of the Lord forever, because they did not meet you with bread and with water on the way when you came out of Egypt, and because they hired you against Balaam, son of Beor, to curse you. But the Lord your God would not listen to Balaam. Instead, the Lord your God turned the curse to blessing, because the Lord your God loved you. He does not seek the peace or the prosperity all your days forever. By the way, look at the very next verse. You should not abhor an Edomite, for he is your brother. You should not abhor an Egyptian, because you were sojourners in his land. Now that's crazy, right? Children born to them of the third generation may enter the assemblies of the Lord. By the way, they use some of these verses in relationship to their reincarnation doctrines, and they say that what happens is when someone's reincarnated, they don't come back the very next generation. They come back 3 or 4 generations later. There's another place where it says 3 or 4 generations they utilize, but they use some of these passages like this, One West Israelites, to say that it's every 3 or 4 generations before you come back. I'm not joking. But notice, they don't think this holds anymore, but they think this holds in relation to the Moabites. It's from the same section. Now, here's why we're where we are. Now, I'm going to tie these things together, okay? Listen closely, everybody. They tie verse 1 in with verse 3. And what they say is, and I am not kidding, they say that the severing of the genitalia is prevalent among Moabites and Ammonites, Chinese and Japanese. And how do they get that? Here's how they get it. They say that sex reassignment surgery is more prevalent in East Asia, meaning sex change operations. They say they're more prevalent in East Asia, and they believe that this is grounds to conclude the Moabites and Ammonites are currently in East Asia. Again, what I'm telling you is not a joke. These are proof texts that One West Israelites have used. The reason why I'm going into these lesser known things is to show how utterly ridiculous the depths of these doctrines are, and yet they'll be out on the street cursing people based upon this. So again, to reiterate, they use 23:1 or 23:3 to say that, look, we know that Moabites and Ammonites are in East Asia because in East Asia, the Japanese and Chinese have more sex change operations, which is evidence that they're there because they tie 1 and 3 together. As if that even what it means. It doesn't mean that. This is utterly bizarre, right? Are you guys following how absolutely insane this was? Well, guess what? Never fear. One Westerners have yet another proof text. I believe this is the last one. But let me show you this one, okay? You guys are going to really, really like this one. Who are we talking about here in Judges 3:17? We got Ehud, the left-handed assassin. He's a Benjamite. And he's dealing with a king named Eglon, the king of Moab. See that? And so he's going to go in there and assassinate him, right? And he presented the tribute to Eglon, the king of Moab. Now, Eglon was a very fat man. And when Ehud had finished presenting the tribute, he sent away the people who carried the tribute. He himself turned back at the idols near Gilgal and said, I have a secret message for you, O king. He commanded, silence. And all his attendants went out from his presence. And Ehud came to him as he was sitting alone in his cool roof chamber. And Ehud said, I have a message from God for you. And he arose from his seat. And Ehud reached with his left hand, took the sword from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. And the hilt also went in after the blade, and the fat closed over the blade, for he did not pull the sword out of his belly, and the dung came out. So it's saying his belly was so fat, and he pushed it so deep that literally when he put him in the stomach with the blade, that his entire large belly covered up the sword, and then his bowels released, is what it's saying. Then he went out into the porch and closed the doors of the roof chamber behind him and locked them. So he's been assassinated. And of course, the servants thought that he was relieving himself, but then they saw he was dead later on. What's the point? The point is it's dealing with a rather large Moabite king. So remember, they think Moabites are Chinese, and they're saying, here's a fat Asian king. So what in their mind. So they believe that this fat Asian king parallels the popularity of sumo wrestlers. I, again, kid you not. And not just sumo wrestlers, it gets even more, the corpulent depictions of the Buddha in East Asia. So you know, there's different depictions of the Buddha, but some of them are corpulent, that he's large, you know, with the belly and stuff, which is kind of weird because it's like, hey, how are you denying desire with that belly, right? But I ain't trying to throw no shade there, you know. Anyways, they're saying that the popularity of sumo wrestlers, right, and the big Buddha are paralleling this Judges 3:17 text. Now again, this is all rather silly, isn't it? But we got to understand, what is the primary concern of the Hebrew Israelites? It's black and white folks. They have a very Jim Crow view of the world, don't they? They have a very Jim Crow view of the world. And because of that, their main apologetic time gets spent trying to prove that they are Israelites and that white folks are Edomites. And so these other ones just don't get as much play or attention. Let me see. All right, so I'm going to stop right there, and then I have to ask you guys a question. Do you have any questions for me about this lesson or this teaching when I am breaking down why the One West Hebrew Israelites call Moabites Chinese and all that, vice versa? Also, the other question I have to ask is, did anyone else give to the super chat that I did not see? Because if I missed you when I'm reading the stuff from Logos and stuff, it's difficult to see if anybody did. I want to see. So we got over 60 people in here watching. So we didn't clear 100, but we got one freestyle, and I think I owed 4, and then knocked out the 1, and now I think there's 3 left. Will you please let me know, Mr. Nate? And Nate, you were part of the core, the Matrix, and this lesson may have been a special attention or special interest to you. And I don't know, but I want to know, do you got any questions for me? By the way, shout out, he came in earlier, K-Dub. Everyone subscribe to K-Dub's channel. And also, I need you guys to check out Jesus is the Word, which is JTW Ministries. Check out his channel, because he put up a little clip when we were going ahead with, what am I trying to say? We're I forget what it was. It was like, oh, yeah, the clips with one body in the Hawashai were in Dallas, Texas. Yeah, that's what it was. Anyways. So I'm looking through the live chat real quick to check you guys' comments before I do this final freestyle. But especially I want to know, if Nate, if you have any questions or comments, because I saw your little promo for this. Guys, you should follow Nate on social media. He's pretty funny, even though he's weird, but he's my man, and he's just a dope all-around dude. We got some awesome people here. You know, we got Carm and Soko and K-Dub, and we got D New, and hey, what's up with you? Really enjoyed. How you doing? And, you know, we got Corinth, Radical Love, hey, Latasha. Just some awesome, great people. Hey, what's up going on, Andrew? What's up, Ray? Or Roy, my bad. And shout out to you, Gerard. What's up? So we just got some great people in here with great questions. Super chat be popping off. I'm just trying to look through the live chat one last time. Oh, be sure, by the way, have you hit the like button yet? If you have not hit the like button yet, please go ahead to hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. Go ahead. And also, you grab this link and share it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Ramon? Hey, what's up, Tippy Bear? You know, you guys have left a lot of comments now that I see here. So let me just look through a couple here. What's up, EMIJX? Do they have info from the pre-flood trip? I don't know exactly what you mean. I'm curious who they think the Syrians were. I put that on the screen earlier. They think Syrians are actually just still Syrians. And other nations like the Babylonians. I think I know who the Egyptians. Yeah, they think Egyptians are Mizraim, which is... Can I rap about Chinese food? I can try to. Hey, what's up, hashtag? Thank you for the love from India. Hey, hashtag, is that a picture of a pug? You like pugs? Is that what that is on there? You know who else like pugs? It's Dr. Heiser. But shout out to you. Thank you, hashtag, for the super chat. Shout out to you. Vocab Malone, yo, 2 more freestyles. Okay. Hey, what's up, BHI Critiqued? Everyone subscribe to BHI Critiqued as well. All right, what's up, Marion? How you doing over there in Europe? But looks like okay. I think I see kind of enough that I answered and I kind of looked at. Okay. All right, let's jump into this freestyle, and then I'll only owe one. Oh, hey, Jesus the Word is up in here. Yeah. Jesus the Word, man. Link your latest video, and everyone subscribe to his channel. For real, all right? D-New says, how do you think they would handle someone who is mixed black father and Chinese mother with Asian features? So, as long as you could show or give them confidence enough that your father would be described as a so-called black man, I'm using their words, you know what I'm saying? They would be okay with that. The mother's irrelevant. The mother would be irrelevant in the situation, you know? So, like, they'd be okay, you know what I mean? Because there's people like that. So, you know, just be like, whatever. You know, a lot of them, when they have a mother who's of a different lineage or whatever, they just kind of diss her, basically. You know, like what's his name? Alazar, you know, with his white mother, you know, unfortunately. It's kind of messed up. But yeah, they just, you know, it's no big deal. Okay, there it is, linked, everybody. Joe Roman, I can't send super chat. Somebody let him know how to set up a super chat. As well in the Kingdom of Norway. Subscribe, that's right. In other words, all is well in Denmark. Moab, Utah is named after the Native American tribe, so how do they view Native Americans? One West Israelites that we're discussing tonight believe that Native Americans all fall into the tribe of Gad, with the exception of the Seminoles they believe are part of Reuben. Did the whole movement start with this racial line argument? No, not exactly. The key thing was there that we are the true Israelites. That's the key thing, Billy. The main thing begins, the main thesis of Hebrew Israelism is that, hey, we're the true Israelites. The breakdown for Deuteronomy 23:7, the only thing I've heard, Latasha, is they say that's not relevant anymore. They say that was then, this is now. Because they say Obadiah and all that has happened since then. So they say it's sort of almost like abrogation in Islam is the way they would probably look at that. Some in the Torah observant community teach that there's no such thing as Gentiles in New Covenant. Yeah, so the Hebrew roots folks get into some of this too, and that's why they all try to show they're Jews. And of course, don't forget that also, thought this too, the Anglo-Israelites, you know what I'm saying? Now listen, guys, this week, you know, I've been busy doing stuff. This week is going to be tricky for me to go live. I know I try to do it Tuesday, Thursday, but if I go live, it's probably going to be a last-second surprise thing when I get a little window, and it's probably going to be during the day, which I know is not convenient for some of you guys. I'm sorry about that. Or it's going to be at the end of the night. So for this week, for going live, except for Sunday night, by God's grace, I plan on going live Sunday night. Okay, that's my plan, but we'll see. Because part of this week, I've got to get ready to go to New York with David Wood and Turek and all of them. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but we are going to be dropping videos. Me and Kama and Mike are working on videos. And remember, I was in Dallas just yesterday, straight up. I was there Saturday morning. And yesterday, who did I talk to? I talked to IUIC. I talked to One Body in Yahushua. Jesus the Word is going to drop all the One Body in Yahushua videos first, so pay attention to his channel because we were together. But we're going to drop the IUIC videos soon, where I interacted with IUIC in front of their Dallas headquarters, and then the GMS videos are going to come. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming. Don't worry, we still deal with Islam, and there's a new Boom Boom Room coming out this week, okay? But, you know, we do urban apologetics, and we're getting deeper and deeper. And here's what's beautiful, guys. Notice how even though we're getting into some weird stuff that they believe, nonetheless, we are able to get into the Bible more. For example, you know, next time you read where it says Moab is my washpot or wash basin, you'll understand, oh, that's a metaphor that conveys a sense of contempt, saying Moab is like a vessel where a ruler would wash his dirty hands or feet, a place of subjection. That's a judgmental metaphor, meaning God is saying, I'm judging Moab in this context. Because God judges the nations. God judges the nations, right? Moab, they had a god named Chemosh back then. So they were idolaters at this point. Now, again, if you're Asian, don't feel bad because this literally has nothing to do with you. Literally nothing to do with you. It had to do with more with people who would be maybe Jordanians today, for example. But that's a loose correlation. Now, if you guys like this kind of show, you know what I'll do? Probably another time, I'll do a show breaking down why they call white people Edomites, because we've actually never really broke that down in any depth. So now, guys, it's time to do this freestyle. Let me jump over here and jump it. Hey, where is the one I'm going to use? How about this one? No. I do like that beat, though. No. Now we just use that one. Have we used this one yet? I don't remember if we've ever used this beat before, but let's use that beat. Here's the closing freestyle beat, and I'm supposed to rap about Asian food. So listen, guys, I don't know all the things on the Asian cuisine menu, so what I need you guys to do is drop them in the live chat. Hurry up, do it right now. If you don't do it, I'm not going to see it. Drop them in the live chat ASAP, and I'll try to rap about Asian food as a freestyle, okay? All right. Thank you, Radical Love. I see your comment. I appreciate that. All right, mic check. Hurry up. Drop the Asian menu stuff, guys. Let me get this. Let me get this mic. Let me get the mic check right now. We're right now. Gotta get it. We're right now. Gotta get it. Gotta get it. My mic check. My mic check. Gotta get it. How's that sound right there? How's that sound right there, y'all? All right, it's time. Okay, guys, some of these ones, if I can't pronounce them, like break them down, like, or tell me what they are. Tell me about some of the things that are on the menu. You know, like also break down like items, not just names, because some of this stuff I don't know what it is. Okay, I'm not that cultured. Okay, because Moab's not my washpot. All right, freestyle time in the show. Yo. All right. Yeah. The beat is kicking. People talking about General So Chicken. Was he a general of what army? If I eat balut, it might harm me. I disarm the Israelite arguments. Here I come again, I gotta think, and what I meant, I eat a breath mint after I go to a Chinese restaurant. Yes, y'all, Soko on the beat. Nate says I need to eat some chicken feet. Nah, that sounds whack. Nah, check it out. Now I come back and I eat something black on my plate. Don't know what it is, but I still say grace. I say thanks until I'm done. Nate's talking about eating some pork tongue. Nah, excuse me, my pal. Why would you want me to eat Kung Pao? I might say yes or maybe no. Oh, check it out, I eat the egg roll. Rox B ain't up in here. She had to go to sleep. Want some pork ear, my dear? Okay, so guy, that's the chicken or stir fry rice. Now we do it again. Coming through, people, everybody talking chicken. Yes, y'all, I got the beat, bang it up like a boxer. Eating so rocka, it's so hot, sir. I eat the frack prawn. What's that? I don't know. Rock on and on. From here to any Asian country, I'll eat anything you want me to. Nah, that's really a lie. If it's moving too much or got too many eyes, like an octopus thigh or octopus leg, I ain't gonna eat that even if you beg. Yes, y'all, the Asian cuisine. Peep it out now, I have some caffeine. Got my tea, that's straight from Thailand. I met from Pad Thai. I am eating the sweet cream in it. Give me a minute, and then I'll be in it. Peep this out, I'm flowing again. People talk about food that's Cambodian or Mongolian. Chicken that's yummy. Eat the burn moose feed, eat it quick, dummy. Yes, yes, y'all. And maybe they'll bake. Orange Chandler says eat the pancake. Yes, now I'm kicking the chicken, I'm eating the dumpling. It's baby, I'm not gonna be spitting that word. I see Orange Chandler saying French fry. Not sure if that's really Asian in my head. Somebody says eat the black wing cornbread. Come on, y'all, that's an onomatopoeia like boom, back, kung pao. Somebody talking pizza, that'll give me gonorrhea. I meant diarrhea, wrong disease, and now I see the comments. I'm on it, I'm honest. People saying you gotta eat Korean food, it's the bombest. It is, I promise, the barbecue. One time I didn't eat it with the new, but to be true, who was there? It was Corm. Yes, yes, y'all, I won't eat an arm of a squid. I won't do that, kids. It's kinda gross. Nah, excuse me. This is the end. Yes, y'all, we got to do it again. We'll do it again. It's the end of the show. Yo, eat a chicken roll. Ho. All right. Yes, y'all. I see you with my fish eye.